Hello and welcome. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Fuse. So the Fuse is a freighter, which means that it is a Class B ship. You could also make it a Class C if you wanted to. And it requires 0 ranks of Starship design while carrying as much cargo as you possibly can fit in. Other than that, it has a bed to sleep in and a cargo hold tab. Now, this particular ship came about when I decided that I just really wanted to use the Ares bridge, and I really wanted to maximize using these panoptes, the Gamma cargo holds. They just really seem like they would fit well with a cargo ship. You can see when we come look at them, turn my flashlight on, how it looks like these ports just kind of slide right open and come on down for easy loading and unloading. And I just wanted to stick as many of these on a ship as I possibly could. So let's go ahead and start with a tour. So first things first, we are entering into a HopeTech 2x3 cargo hold tab. And then over on this side, I have the Dymos 3x1 engineering bay. I believe this is the engineering bay A. Coming on over to the far side of the ship, I have another Dymos engineering bay. I believe this one is the B. This one looks a lot more like it's electronics and power generators as opposed to the steam whatever that's on the other side. Coming back here, we're going to skip the ladder really quick, though I do want to note that this is where our docker is. Back here, I have a 3x1 all-in-one berth. Note you could very easily swap this out for a 2x1 all-in-one berth if you wanted to either stick an engine back there for 3 engines, or you wanted to make it a C-class ship. Then I'm going to hop on up here into the Tayo captain's quarters. This is probably my favorite captain's quarters on the ship because it does come complete with a bathroom, a bed, and, well, the Tayo and HopeTech ones look more or less the same with just some little bit of interior decoration, but the Stroud and Dymos ones do not look like places that I would want to sleep at night. Finally, we get into the Ares Bridge, which is absolutely massive. And again, this is one of my favorite bridges in the game because of how large it is, the navigation console in the center, and just all the windows. And that is it for the interior tour. I also like about this ship that it is all the cargo, and aside from just going up to the bridge, everything is all on that one level, and you don't need to do any ladders to get like cargo in and out or anything like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this ship is built. So you will note I am making use of the ship flip glitch, and it is specifically right here to get something over these Hope Tech landing bays. Aside from that, there is no flip glitching going on this ship. Additionally, you will note that the mobility is a little low. I do only have 2 of these engines on. If you like the general look of this ship and you want to make it something that can perform a little better, changing this hab out for a 2x1 and putting another engine here, or going ahead and changing it for a 2x1 and you can go ahead and put a C-class reactor here, are both solid choices. So let's go ahead, actually before I do anything else, I'm going to get my colors in my palette. You'll note the main color of this ship is basically a black. And then for these caps, I went ahead and I put a. I was trying for an electric blue. I'm not sure whether or not I succeeded. And then, of course, that same black. All right, so let's select everything and delete it. So starting out, we're going to go with the shipbed 200 landing bay. And then right here, I'm going to find the Hope Tech 2x3 cargo hull. Place that right there. And then I'm going to start grabbing my Dymos 3x1 berths. And I am slapping 3 of those on this ship. So, Dymos has the most options in the 3x1 category. We have, of course, the all-in-one, we have the Engineering Bay A, Engineering Bay B, and the living quarters. So for this particular ship, I'm using the Engineering Bay, A and B. It does not really matter because realistically these are more for aesthetic purposes and to give us some extra space on the outside, not necessarily because we are going into them. So if you wanted to use this ship for another purpose, you could very easily swap this cargo hull out for, say, a mess hall, and then change these to, say, um, uh, either like 2x1s with various purposes or 3x1s that have beds like the all-in-one berth does. Next, I'm going to go ahead and grab the tile all-in-one mid, place that right there, and then I'm going to change this to my captain's quarters. Alright, that done. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and put my docker, which is just the slim docker. And then right here, I'm going to put my cockpit. And the Ares 30.1 does not require a Starship design, so that's the one that we're using. And there you have it. That is all the habitable portions of the ship. So let's go ahead now and come on over to the engines. And for this ship, I am using 2 SAE 5110s. And just located here and here. And then I am also going ahead and putting my reactor and my grav drive in. So for the grav drives, I'm using the Aurora 11G. Again, you can use that or the RD1000. I've just been defaulting to the 11G for basically every single one of my freighter builds because it is slightly lighter and slightly cheaper than the RD1000 while also having connections front, back, and basically on each side surface. Alright, next up, I'm going to go ahead and grab my reactor, which once again is going to be the Z Machine 2000. I'm very disappointed with most of the Class B reactors because this is the only one that does not require Starship design that is actually better than a Class A reactor. Though, again, as I stated earlier, if you wanted, you could very easily change this out for a 2x1 and use a Class C reactor on the end right here. Alrighty. Now then, let's go ahead and start grabbing our landing gear. So for this ship, I have 4 of the Hope 6 landing gears. And then I'm going to take basically every one of these side surfaces and shove on a DeGamma cargo hold. Just double check. Alright, and all of them are the DeGamma 1010s, which makes it nice and easy, because I can just copy, paste to my heart's content. Now, One of the things to note is this lines up perfectly. You do not have to do any flip glitching to get this into place. And as you can see, that is all the cargo holds. Note, if you wanted for any of these, or if you wanted more mobility, you can swap some of them out for the Gamer 1000s, or you could look at cutting some if you just want more mobility and less cargo capacity. So that is all the cargo for this ship, and you can see we've got 4220 cargo on board. Now, I do have an error still. It is that I need fuel tanks. So let's go ahead and grab those. Now, for this ship, I decided to go with a pair of the M30 Ulysses tanks. And I did this because I can just flip them in place over this landing gear. So this is the only place that I'm using the flip glitch on this ship. And if I wanted to go ahead and do something else for fuel, I could potentially go ahead and put like the Titan tanks, or if I've got any ranks of Starship design, sticking like the Atlas tanks on would be an option. If I go ahead, just move this here really quick, you can see that basically all of these don't want to fit, except for the Atlas tanks, don't want to fit over this landing gear because it does stick up ever so slightly. And this is like the one case that I can make for why does it do that? Anyways, enough complaining. Let's come on over to the structural tab, and I'm going to find my Hope Tech nose cap B, place that right there, and then I want to grab my Nova cowlings, which are here. And you'll see that this fuel tank basically looks like a Nova cowling, which is why I decided to use it. There we go. Now then, let me go ahead and grab my shield. So for this ship, I grabbed the Osiris 2020B, and you notice that it just fits right here, anywhere, perfectly fine. So just shove it somewhere on top of the ship, and then we are going to come back on over to the structural components, and I want to come on down to the Stroud braking engines, and I'm shoving a pair of these on. Note you can very easily swap this out for the Dymos ones if you prefer. And then finally, I am putting the Hope Tech caps on. And there you have it. All right, so from here, all that I have left is to add my weapons. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's come on down to the Class B weapons. And you can see that I used 4 of the Disruptor 3320 neutron turrets, and then 3 of the Eradicator 75 MeV neutron beams. And there are plenty of weapon spots to put things on. So if you want to add more weapons, it is very easy to do so. Or you can swap weapons out for something else. Alright, so I have an error. I just need to assign my weapons. And then all that I've got left is to paint my ship. So I'm going to go ahead and paint everything this kind of grayish black color. And then I'm going to take these Hope Tech caps and I'm going to do colors 2 and 3 with this kind of electric blue color. And that is the fuse. All right, so I'll let you just take a look at the stats really quick. And then we'll come here and you can take a look at these stats. Also, if you are interested in using shielded cargo, you can very easily swap any of these cargo holds out for shielded cargo to up the shielded capacity. That is going to lower your total capacity. And now let's go ahead and take this out and get a couple pictures. Of all of my freighter class ships, I think this is actually my favorite design. I also kind of like my Nova freighter as well, but just it looks very smooth here, and there's no wasted space while still managing to keep everything blending together. So if I had to go ahead and use a freighter, and I did not have Starship design, I think this would probably be the very first ship that I would look to build. So if you've watched this far, thank you very much for watching. Do all those YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And otherwise, I will see you next time.